How can we generate leads through social media? I'm so glad you asked. The easy answer is by creating content. But if you want to maximize your leads and convert them into sales, you have to ready your content with the proven lead generation techniques that I'm going to show you how to do in today's video. Talking all things lead generation from social media, I want to first tell you how an everyday sidewalk relates to your audience and how likely they are to buy from you. And then I want to show you the 2 ways to think about your audience to truly understand their perspective, capture their intrigue, and bring them to buy. And then I want to tell you about how I first started my YouTube channel and this one thing that I changed about my videos that resulted in me actually generating cash flow straight from my YouTube videos, even when I had a very small, if any, audience. Have you heard of the know, like, trust factor? This is a factor you need to have with your audience for them to know you, like you, and trust you, because when that's in play, they're more likely to listen to you, follow you, buy from you, and if you don't have that, you don't have anything. And so we're measuring the temperature and the intimacy that we have with our audience. Temperature meaning, are they cold, warm, hot? If they're cold, they typically don't know anything about you. They don't know any of the problems that you can solve for them. They might not even know the solutions that they even need in their lives. When they're warm, they might know a little bit about you. They may be a little more problem aware, a little more solution aware. They follow you. Maybe they spend a little bit of time. But at this point, it's a pretty low investment. If they feel hot, if they're like that really hot traffic, they're typically raving. They love everything you do. They're willing to share your stuff with their friends and family. And they're more likely to buy because that know, like, trust factor is very hot, that they have that level of intimacy with you. They trust you. They build a relationship with you. And they love what you have to offer. They know that the solutions that you provide are something that they need help with. Now, I've given you the imagery of cold, warm, hot, but another way that you can look at this is sidewalk, slow lane, fast lane. If they're on the sidewalk, they might not even realize that there's a road next to them, that the fast lane can take them exactly where they need to go. And remember that when people buy something, they're buying to get a result, and the more that they pay, they're paying for ease and speed to get to that result easiest and fastest. When they're on the sidewalk, they might just be window shopping, looking around, not sure what you have to offer. And as you warm them up, you start to bring them to that slow lane where they're moseying along, they're starting to look at your stuff, they're starting to get an idea for who you are, and that's where your content needs to come into play, whether that's your YouTube videos where you're providing lots of value, your Instagram stories, Facebook, whatever platform you're on, it doesn't matter. What does matter is the relationships that you have with your audience and that you're continuously providing value for them, because when you do, that's what's going to move them into the fast lane. And the fast lane, that's where you can make the most transformation with your audience. Before I get into the 2 ways you should think about your audience to get them to buy, would you mind clicking that button, subscribe to my channel? If you love content marketing and entrepreneurship, you're gonna love this channel. Now let's talk about the 2 ways to think about your audience. You might find this funny, but the first way I want you to think about it is as if you're dating them. Date your audience. I like to tell this little story. Imagine that there's this stranger that approaches you on the street, someone you've never seen before in your life, and they're like, "Will you marry me?" You're like, "Are you crazy?" You maybe run the other direction, stranger danger. For you to get to that level of intimacy and a close relationship with someone, they need to date you. They need to court you. They need to take you to dinner, meet your parents, learn your last name. You wouldn't go straight for the marriage proposal, and the same thing with your marketing. The other thing you have to keep in mind is that your audience is inundated with a ton of other content. There's lots of other influences online. There's lots of channels, lots of cat videos that can grab their attention. So your communication also has to be consistent. You can almost think of the movie 50 First Dates. Adam Sandler's character, he's constantly having to date Lucy because her memory disappears every night. Now, luckily for us, our audience isn't losing their memory every night, but if you don't keep showing up for them, that relationship that you've already built can disappear. You need to be nurturing consistently and continuously showing up, providing value. And here's some ways that you can do that. Your regular everyday content, whether it's your YouTube videos that you have produced, or maybe your Instagram stories that you're just documenting your day, showing the behind the scenes, showing more of your personality, that's what's gonna make people feel close to you. And it's also showing them a preview of what it could be like to have a closer relationship with you. If I'm showing behind the scenes of me maybe filming with a client or consulting on their funnels, that can show that person and give them an idea of, well, maybe that's the same level of service that I might have if I were to work with Marley. So how can you show that in your content that gives them a preview of your expertise and how you work with clients? And also your regular values. We buy from people and we listen to people that have similar values as us. So maybe you like to follow people who are very family oriented if you have a family, or maybe you like to follow people that are great performers, or maybe people who really hone in on their superpowers or their unique personality characteristics. Like maybe they're an introvert and you are too, and that's why you resonate with them. So what are those things about you that you can put out in your content that people are going to want to follow because it resonates with them? Now, the next thing that's so important in whatever content you put out there is that it needs to have a call to action. Content without a call to action is like going on a date with the love of your life and then playing hard to get, not asking for that second date. And I'll tell you from my own experience, I spent a long time not putting a call to action, but I'll get more into that story later. But I'm going to tell you right now, anything that you can do to give them an incentive, tell them where to go next, whether it's here's another video you can watch, or click the link below, or hey, why don't you follow me on this platform? That's going to bring them towards the next step, aka the next date, way that they can build that relationship with you. When I was dating, I heard this relationship advice that was like, invest, then test. So in the dating world, this would mean to invest your time, see how it goes, see if you're on the same page before you spend more time or invest more emotional energy in your relationship. And this is what's going to happen for both you and your audience as you're interacting on social media or in anything. Because when they invest time into looking at your content, that might make them feel like they trust you and they want to watch more. And they need that trust before they're going to be willing to opt in for a freebie, or before they're willing to buy something because they've invested time that now they know that they can invest money. So it's kind of similar. If you use that comparison with dating, you're going to invest in the relationship before you go further. The same thing in marketing is your audience is going to invest in learning about you before they're going to invest with their money. They invest emotionally before they invest financially. The more that they qualify themselves throughout this process, and let me explain what that means. You know when you have a warm audience by how much they're engaging and interacting with you. Your cold audience, they're probably just watching, like I kind of mentioned, they're window shopping, they're looking around. But if you find that they're engaging with you, they're responding to something, they go to an opt-in page, they put in their email address, that's qualifying them as someone who's interested in nurturing and building that relationship with you. They qualify themselves even more when they raise their hand with their credit card in it to say, I'm a buyer. I'm someone that's interested to this point that I'm interested in investing financially, because they feel safe in that emotional investment they've made first in building that relationship with you. Even a small financial investment, even if they pay $7 for something, that's like the gateway to being able to ascend them in your value ladder. And that's going to be really important, is bringing people from cold, from sidewalk, slow lane, fast lane, to a small investment, and then the ascension through the rest of your value ladder. So with that said, are you dating your audience before asking them to marry you? Have you ever thought about your audience in these terms? Is it kind of funny? Let me know in the comments below what you think about that, or even if you've had an experience where maybe you felt like, whoa, too soon. And kind of funny when you think about that, that can actually damage the relationship. So it's really important that you invest, then test, have opportunities for your audience to invest emotionally before they invest financially. The second way I want you to think about your audience is that your audience may be a version of you 3 years ago. If you think about your before picture, a lot of the time your audience, that's their current reality. And they look at you as this attractive character that they want to know what exactly you did to get to where you are today. Your before picture is their current reality. And your current reality is their hopeful transformation. They want to get to where you are. And by you showing your journey, by documenting your expertise, showing what you're doing in the day-to-day, showing them the pathway that they can take to get to where you are, that's going to create a know-like-trust factor stronger than anything. As I say that, does that resonate for you? That who you are today, what you provide for your audience, that might be solving the problems for who you were 3 years ago. That the problems that you had back then, you now have the answers to, and you teach that to people, or you provide that answer for people, or it's something that you're passionate about and can help people with because you were in their shoes. Before I go, I want to tell you my story of when I first started on YouTube so that you can learn from my mistakes. I was making these videos just answering frequently asked questions, and I did what I kind of mentioned where I didn't ask for the second date. I kind of just worded it like, well, cool, hope you enjoyed my content, see you later, and I just ghosted on them. I didn't give them another opportunity to, hey, follow me here, click the subscribe button, or go watch this next video, or get this free thing in the link below. So you have to know, if you aren't giving them an opportunity, they have no reason to follow or reach out to you. If you incentivize them with, here's more value, or here's how I can help you further, that's gonna give them a reason to act. Remember that there is a ton of distractions, cat videos. The internet is saturated with attention grabbers. You need to be one of them. Content creation is a major part of generating leads online, but how about we take the stress of content creation off your plate? I have a training I'm gonna give you access to. It's called How to Create 6 Months of Cash Flowing Content in 3 days Without Publishing Your Face Off for Months with 0 sales. We all know what that's like when your content takes so much time and you launch to crickets and it doesn't result in any more leads or cash in your pocket. It doesn't have to be that way anymore. Click the link below and join us.